Ever wondered what's the difference between a home appraisal and a home inspection? Well, if you have, you are not alone. I get asked that question a lot, so I thought I'd share the answer with you right after this. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Melanie McNamara. I'm an associate broker with Community Realty here in the greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I post videos about life in greater Lansing and real estate in general. So if you're not already a subscriber, I would love for you to subscribe and click that little bell so you're alerted every time a new video is posted. And welcome to the channel. And now, what you're really here for. What is the difference between a home appraisal and a home inspection? In the most general of terms, a home appraisal is done to establish value and a home inspection is done, well, so the buyer knows what they're getting into with a new property. The first thing that generally happens is a purchase agreement is signed down and the buyer will have agreed to a certain time frame in which to perform their home inspections. Generally 5 to 10 days, 5 to 10 business days. So that's the amount of time they have to schedule and perform their inspection and then either release the contingency, ask for repairs or a monetary concession, or maybe they'll have decided that the property was a little bit too much for them to take on and they're going to want to cancel that transaction. The buyer will choose an inspector based on their own research or a referral from a friend or a referral from their agent. Most agents, dare I say all agents, will have a list of home inspectors that they trust, that have done work for their clients in the past, that they will share with their buyers. Now, home inspection is paid for either upfront or at the inspection. So make sure that you budget those costs in along the way. In my area, a home inspection generally costs between $350, maybe $500, and depending on the services that you want performed. You may want to add on a radon test or a well and septic, depending on if the property is on public or on a well and septic, of course. Or maybe you want a pest inspection or a drain scope. Now, home inspection is optional. However, I do not advise that you waive that contingency. And I highly suggest that you hire a professional home inspector. They will have the tools, they will have done hundreds of inspections and know exactly what to look for to protect you in your new home purchase. Your inspector is going to look over the house from top to bottom, from outside in. They're going to climb on the roof and they're going to check the chimney and the shingles, and they're going to check the exterior and the grade of the property. They're going to climb up in the attic and check the insulation and check for mold or moisture intrusion. They're going to check ventilation issues. The attic is a really important part of the home inspection process. They're going to check the electrical and the plumbing and the mechanicals, and they're going to check out the age of the mechanicals. They're going to run water, and they're going to look for moisture intrusion in the basement. So it's very important that you do have that done. An inspection usually lasts about 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of the property and the age of the home. And generally the buyer is welcome to attend the inspection and suggested that they do. That gives them the opportunity to ask the inspector questions and have a real close look around the property. Now, the seller should not be present for the inspection. This is a great opportunity for the buyer to really get a feel for the property. Procedures may vary region to region. It's typical in our area that the seller is not present. Keep in mind that a home cannot pass or fail an inspection, and all homes are going to have some deferred maintenance or little issues that need to be repaired. And it'll be up to the buyer to discuss with their inspector and their realtor what, if any, repairs they may want to request from the seller. And all buyers are different. For example, a home might have a lot of electrical issues, but if you're an electrician, that may not be a problem for you at all. You're really going to want to take the advice of your inspector and your agent on how to proceed after a home inspection. Once the home inspection is completed and you've either released the contingency or negotiated some repairs, moving on to the appraisal. Now, the appraisal is really done on behalf of the lender, paid by the buyer, another expense you're going to want to add in there to your budget, and it's done to protect the investment. The appraisal is all about the value and the safety of the property. They're necessary to ensure that the buyer and the lender is lending on a property at fair market value and is habitable for the buyer. Now, in contrast to the home inspection, the buyer doesn't attend the home appraisal, but the seller can be present for that. The home appraiser will schedule. They will show up to the property, they'll walk through, they'll take photos, check on various aspects and features of the property, and that part usually takes maybe 15 minutes to a half hour. It's very quick. Most of the appraisal is done back at the appraiser's computer where they're pulling up comparable properties to put in their report and they're writing everything up. So once the appraisal is submitted back to the lender to review, we ask the big question, did it come in at value? Are there any repairs? And if the answer is yes at value, no repairs, you are good to go. It goes back into underwriting for final review and you're well on your way to a clear to close. Now, if the appraisal doesn't come in at value, well, that's another whole video, my friends. And you are going to want to check with your agent and your lender on next steps for that scenario. So that's really it in a nutshell. Those are the main differences between a home inspection and a home appraisal. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.